The galaxy trembles at the name of one man. Planets surrender before his fleets arrive. Senators bow before his throne. Jedi, the guardians of peace for 1,000 generations, burned at his command. He did not conquer the galaxy through strength alone. He engineered its submission across decades of invisible manipulation, patient as a spider at the center of an infinite web. But what happens when the weapon turns on the hand that forged it? What happens when the most powerful Sith Lord in 1,000 years faces the one man in the galaxy he deliberately chose not to destroy? Today, we do not ask who is more iconic. We do not ask who wore the better armor. We ask the only question that matters in the cold logic of combat. In a direct confrontation, Emperor Palpatine versus Darth Vader, who survives? Sheev Palpatine was not born powerful. He was made powerful, shaped by Darth Plagueis into the most dangerous instrument the Sith philosophy had ever produced. And then, true to Sith tradition, he murdered his master in his sleep. That single act tells you everything about Palpatine. He does not fight unless the outcome is already decided. He does not reveal a weapon until it is too late to defend against it. He spent 30 years dismantling the Jedi Order from the inside while they sat across the table from him, drinking tea. The most skilled, Force-sensitive warriors in galactic history, and not one of them saw it coming. His Force abilities operate on a level that defies conventional understanding. His Force lightning is not a combat technique. It is an extinction event focused through two hands. When he unleashed it against Mace Windu, one of the greatest duelists the Jedi Order ever produced, Windu survived only because of a lightsaber and sheer, desperate will. When he turned that same lightning on Luke Skywalker, a young man in peak physical condition was reduced to convulsions within seconds. But lightning is merely his signature. Palpatine possesses mastery of telekinesis, powerful enough to hurl entire Senate pods like missiles. He reads intent before it becomes action. He perceives deception before it is spoken. He has battled Yoda, the single most powerful Jedi Master of his era, and fought him to a standstill while managing the weight of ruling an entire empire. And above all else, Palpatine's greatest weapon is his mind. He thinks in decades. He plans in contingencies. He has a strategy for every scenario, including the one where his apprentice decides to kill him. He already planned for it. He always does. Anakin Skywalker was declared by the Jedi Council itself to be the chosen one, the being prophesied to bring balance to the Force. His midi-chlorian count exceeded even Master Yoda's. His raw Force potential was, by every measurable standard, the highest ever recorded in a living being. And then Mustafar happened. The man who crawled out of that volcanic nightmare was not diminished in spirit, he was diminished in capacity. The suit that keeps him alive also imprisons him. His connection to the Force, once boundless, now operates through a filter of constant pain, mechanical limitation, and emotional suppression. Palpatine himself acknowledged that Vader's potential had been catastrophically reduced. The apprentice who should have exceeded the master never would. And yet, Darth Vader is still Darth Vader. His physical power inside that armor is staggering. He rips starfighters apart with the Force. He deflects blaster bolts with a hand. His telekinesis crushes, shatters, and hurls with mechanical precision. His lightsaber technique, a brutal fusion of gem-so and raw physical dominance, makes him virtually unmatchable in blade-to-blade combat. Most opponents who face Vader in a duel do not lose on points. They die. He is relentless. He is patient. He endures pain that would shatter any ordinary being, because pain is simply the medium he exists within. But here is the critical flaw beneath the armor. Vader's power is physical. His Force mastery is formidable, but it leans heavily on tangible applications. And his greatest weakness is the one Palpatine engineered deliberately. He needs the suit to live. Damage the suit, and you do not just wound Darth Vader. You begin to kill him. We strip away politics, allegiances, and the galaxy at large. No stormtroopers, no Death Star, no Imperial hierarchy to protect either combatant. One Emperor, one apprentice, one location, the throne room of the second Death Star, the place where this confrontation nearly happened once before. The Emperor sits upon his throne. Vader stands at the base of those steps, exactly as he has 1,000 times. And this time, something breaks. Perhaps an order too ruthless, even for Vader's tolerance. Perhaps a moment of clarity. Perhaps simply the accumulated weight of years of servitude finally collapsing. Vader ignites his lightsaber. The Emperor smiles. Palpatine wins this category decisively. His Force lightning has already defeated Vader once, in Return of the Jedi. Vader does not overpower Palpatine through Force ability. He physically grabs him. That is not a display of Force superiority. That is a desperate last resort from a man who knows he cannot win a direct power contest. Palpatine's telekinesis, his ability to project Force energy at range, his sheer reserve of dark side power, all of it exceeds what Vader can currently bring to the field. The suit limits Vader's ability to channel the Force at full intensity. He cannot scream with the Force the way Anakin Skywalker once could because screaming requires lungs that work without machinery. This is where Vader closes the gap dramatically. Palpatine is not unskilled with a lightsaber. His duel with Yoda proves he can hold his own against the finest. But Vader is the finest. His gem-so technique is built for overpowering opponents, and his mechanical frame means he swings with force that no organic body can match. Against a blade, Vader is devastating. However, Palpatine does not need to win a lightsaber duel. He needs to survive long enough to neutralize Vader through other means. And at range, the blade becomes irrelevant. Palpatine is old, his frame is frail, his movement, despite force enhancement, does not compare to the terrifying, relentless advance of an armored figure who feels no fatigue. Vader, despite the suit's bulk, moves with mechanical consistency. He does not tire, he does not flinch, he walks through blaster fire, he advances through pain. His mobility is limited compared to an uninjured Force user, but his endurance is inhuman. Palpatine has studied Vader for decades. He designed the suit. He knows exactly what it can withstand, exactly where it fails, and exactly which systems, if disrupted, begin the cascade toward Vader's death. He has had years to formulate contingencies for precisely this scenario. Vader is intelligent and experienced, but he thinks in battles. Palpatine thinks in wars. One is a weapon. The other is the strategist who built and deployed that weapon. This is the fight's decisive factor. Vader's suit is his lifeline and his prison simultaneously. Force lightning does not merely hurt Vader, it directly attacks the suit's electronics, its respiratory systems, its life support. Even a sustained burst carries the risk of system failure. Palpatine knows this. He built the suit's specifications. He knows exactly which frequencies, which intensity, which duration begins to kill the man inside. This is not speculation. This is confirmed by canon. When Palpatine unleashed lightning on Luke in the throne room, Vader, standing nearby, made no attempt to deflect it with the Force. He used his physical body as the intervention. The implication is clear. He could not block lightning effectively without risking critical suit damage. Against Vader directly, Palpatine does not need to destroy him. He needs only to damage the suit enough to begin the process. Vader advances the moment the lightsaber ignites. He knows, consciously or instinctively, that this fight cannot be fought at range. His only path to victory is closing the distance before Palpatine reshapes the battlefield. Palpatine does not run. He rises from that throne, red eyes burning, and he unleashes. The lightning comes in waves, not the theatrical display he used on Luke, but the precise, calculated application of a man who is not performing cruelty. He is solving a problem. He targets the chest plate, he targets the respirator, he targets the joints where mechanical systems interface with damaged flesh. Vader advances through it. This is where his endurance becomes extraordinary. He walks through the lightning, step by brutal step, the suit screaming warnings across every system, his breathing ragged and mechanical and unyielding. He is magnificent in this moment. He is terrifying. But he is not fast enough. Palpatine reads every step before it lands. He repositions with Force-enhanced speed, keeping the throne room's terrain between them. He hurls objects, not to defeat Vader, but to slow him. Every second Vader spends deflecting debris is another second the lightning finds the suit. Another system warning, another cascade of damage accumulating invisibly beneath that black armor. When Vader finally reaches striking distance, and he does reach it because Vader always reaches you, the blade swings with devastating precision. Palpatine deflects it with his own crimson blade, and the clash is extraordinary. The Emperor, for all his reliance on lightning, is not helpless with a saber. He matches Vader for 3, 4, 5 exchanges because his mastery of Form 7 and his ability to read intent through the Force compensates for his physical frailty. But this cannot last. Vader's mechanical strength is simply too great. A gem so repulsed breaks through. The blade grazes Palpatine's shoulder, and here is where the fight reaches its decisive moment. Palpatine does not escalate his lightning, he maximizes it. Both hands. Full intensity. No restraint. Not the measured bursts he was using to degrade the suit. This is the full catastrophic output of the most powerful dark side practitioner alive. The kind of lightning that contorted Luke Skywalker's body in seconds. Directed not at Vader's center mass, but specifically, precisely, at the chest plate respirator. The suit fails. Not completely, not instantly, but critically. Vader's breathing, that iconic mechanical rhythm, begins to falter. Systems cascade. Warning becomes emergency. Emergency becomes crisis. He still raises the blade. He is still Vader. He advances one more step, two more steps, because Darth Vader does not stop until death makes him stop. But the third step does not come. The chest plate's primary system shuts down. The respirator fails. And the man who survived Mustafar, who survived the suit, who survived 2 decades of pain and servitude, does not survive his own life support, losing power in the throne room of the Death Star. Palpatine stands over him, breathing hard, bleeding from that shoulder, but standing. He looks down at the fallen armor and feels not satisfaction exactly, something colder. He begins calculating his next apprentice before Vader draws his final breath. Darth Vader loses, not because he is weak. He is the single most physically dominant Force user in the galaxy. In a duel of pure swordsmanship, he may well be unmatched. His endurance is extraordinary. His will is unbreakable. But Palpatine's advantages are structural, not circumstantial. He fights smarter. He fights at range where Vader is vulnerable. He targets the suit, the one weakness that cannot be trained away or overcome through willpower. And he possesses the raw Force power to sustain that assault long enough for the suit to fail. The tragic irony is this: Vader's only true victory against Palpatine in canon came not through Force mastery or lightsaber skill. It came through love, through the awakening of Anakin Skywalker beneath the armor, willing to die to save his son. A sacrifice, not a fight. In a fight, a pure direct confrontation between combatants, the Emperor wins. He always planned for this. He always knew how it would end. The contingency was built into the suit from the beginning. That is who Palpatine is. That is why he ruled the galaxy. 2 Sith Lords, 1 throne room, 1 survivor. The Emperor's lightning versus Vader's blade is not merely a fight. It is the final brutal expression of a relationship built on power, manipulation, and the fundamental Sith truth that there can only ever be one. Vader is the greatest weapon the dark side ever forged. But Palpatine is the man who forged him, and he always kept the kill switch. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you believe Vader's physical dominance could overcome Palpatine's structural advantages if the duel was prolonged? Could a fully healthy Anakin Skywalker before Mustafar defeat the Emperor in his prime? And what does it mean that the only being who ever truly defeated Palpatine did so through love, not power? Leave your answer below.